Howdy, everyone. I hope you're doing well, wherever, whenever you are. I am, of course, your future favorite pop star, your host, Landyn Zane, and this is obviously, as it will always be, your favorite podcast, for the record. And, as always, this is the special Q&A episode of the week. So, every Monday we do the general ADHD episode, and every Thursday we have the Q&A episode. And this is the Q&A episode. We did not have one of these last week, so I've got some good questions. If y'all ever want to be part of the pod, send me your questions, DM me, send me whatever, DM me on Instagram at Landyn Zane, but so LANDYN Z4NE, because my full name was not available for some annoying reason. But I think we should just get into it. But if you want to be part of the podcast, send me a little DM. Send me a dimsky, little DM. We'll be a part of it. You can be part of the pod. You could be a part of the podcast if you want to be part of the podcast. You can just send me a DM. I would appreciate it. And you can get a little shout out from your favorite host of your favorite podcast. Even though there are a few people actually watch the whole episodes, but we're working on it. And if you do, share it. I appreciate you. I'm trying to get comfortable here. Cannot find a position. That's not what she said. Get your mind out of the gutter. All right. But we're just going to hop in. Question 1. Numero uno. These questions, I believe these are from my friend Grant. Grant, I love you, even though I don't think you listen to the podcast. Thank you for sending me these questions. I appreciate it. So he sent us 5. Have not read them yet. Question 1. Do you put your toilet paper over or under the roll? What psychopath puts their toilet... If you put your toilet paper under the roll... No. If you put toilet paper under the roll, you're insane. You're a psychopath. Nobody wants to have to reach under and feel like they're like... What? No. You put it over. It goes over. You do the dangly over. You go one of these. It goes doom and then this one. So you just pull down and it comes. You don't want to have to like reach behind it to grab it and pull it down. That's dumb. No. You put it over. If you put it under, you're insane. Number 2. What are some upcoming albums that you're looking forward to? Oh dear God, we could literally make the rest of the episode about this. So Dua Lipa's new album just came out. I was super excited for it and I loved it. That was what the last episode of the pod was about. And new music. Gracie Abrams announced a new album with her new single Risk. The Secret of Us, I'm pretty sure, is the name of that album. God, my nose is so itchy. I don't know, if it's allergies from moving to California or for moving to LA, but my nose, I'm not picking my nose. It is always, I feel like I always have a tickle in my nose and I hate it. And blowing my nose doesn't help. I don't know what it is. But Gracie Abrams' new album, Secret of Us, Dayglow just put a new single out, and on his live stream, he was like, I may or may not be releasing more new music after this single. So, he's releasing a new album. I said it in the last episode, too. I'm saying it in this one. His new album is going to be called Sloan. I'm telling you right now. Oh, I'm wearing a Dayglow shirt. I'm wearing my Dayglow shirt. One of my favorite artists. Cannot wait. Got this on the People in Motion tour. Sloan, I love you. I think that's going to be the name of your next album. I just think it's going to be Sloan, the Dayglow album. I absolutely love it. Loved his new single. Super excited for the new album that he has not announced. Obviously, Billie Eilish. God, I'm so excited for that Billie Eilish album. Every snippet she has put out for the new Billie Eilish album is so good. Like Lunch. And then, oh my gosh. Every clip, I can't remember the names of the other songs for the clips I've seen on TikTok because it's mainly, the one I keep seeing is the teaser for Lunch. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this new album. I'm so excited. Billie Eilish is one of my favorite artists. Then I'm trying to think, are there any new upcoming pop album releases? And then we could speculate It's been 2 years since Harry's House has come out, so 2 years is generally the amount of time it takes for Harry Styles to put a new album out. So Harry Styles 4, if that happens this year. God, my fucking nose. Upcoming pop albums. Lenny Kravitz is putting a new album. Oh god, 21 Pilots is putting a new album out. Not a fan. No bueno, not my thing. Just not my thing. Let's see. This list sucks. Charlie XCX is putting a new album out. I want a new. Shawn Mendes hasn't put an album out since 2020. I would kill for a new Shawn Mendes album right now. I love that. Love that man. He's so talented. His voice is incredible, but he needs to put some new music out. I don't know. This has been a great year for new music. And then, if we want to speculate even more, I mean, Sabrina Carpenter did just put a new single out, and it's done really well. So, we could assume that Espresso is leading into a full new album, especially because I think it's been 2 years since Emails I Can't Send came out. So we could assume that she could be putting a new album out this year. I don't know. It's a great year for new music, y'all. So it's a great question from Grant. I'm looking forward to all of them. There's so much. And as I've said before, women are killing it in pop music. The men need to step it up. And I want a new Weeknd album too, because Dawn FM I think it's been 2 years since Dawn FM came out, which is ridiculous. Because I absolutely loved that album. It's so underrated. The fact that that album didn't have huge hits off of it is insane. That album is so incredible, and it's better than After Hours. I know people like After Hours better than Dawn FM, but I disagree. I like Dawn FM better. But to each their own. All right, question 3. What are some words of advice for people that are looking to move to LA? Don't. There doesn't need to be more people here. There's already 10 million people in this city, and traffic is too long. And I've even gotten used to the traffic in LA pretty quickly because I had already lived in Dallas before. But even then, LA traffic is terrible. But honestly, if you're moving to LA, the advice I would give to you the most is save as much money as you possibly can. It's pretty generic advice, but I think by the time I had when I moved to LA, I set up a short-term Airbnb stay so I could have somewhere to go when I got to LA. And I stayed there for a month. And after that expense, I had $2,500 to my name, which is nothing. It is literally, especially $2,500 sounds like a lot of money, but once you realize how expensive it is to live out here, $2,500 is nothing. So the fact that I basically moved out here with $2,000 in my pocket, a little more than that, is ridiculous. And it was gone within 6 weeks. It took no time for that money to just disappear. So my biggest advice is just save as much money as you can, and then be smart. If you rough it and you eat really cheap, if you rough it for a while in LA and you don't really try to make it look like you're living a life of luxury, and you just you do what you have to do to get by and not spend money on a bunch of stuff, and you use that to allow you to get more situated, which is about where I am. I'm getting a little more comfortable. I'm still obviously living in some okay living situations, but it's a lot better than a lot of people live in here. And there's obviously a lot of homeless people too. But just be smart. Don't spend money on stupid stuff. There's so many things you can do for free. Some of the best experiences I've had in LA, I did for free. And just do as much research as you can, but also realize that when you get here, there's going to be things you can only learn once you're here, which I didn't realize before I got here is you could study a map of LA, But once you get used to driving around LA, you'll know it's significantly better. Like, before I moved here, people are like, "What neighborhood are you in?" I'm like, "I have no fucking clue." And then I was here for like a month, and I knew every neighborhood. I knew where everything was at. I knew where I wanted to go, where I didn't like going. I knew all of it. It didn't take very long. So just be open. I have so much advice. Save money, be smart, be open to experiences, don't spend money. Don't be afraid to rough it. Like, it's a lot of work, and like I've said before, the hardest thing I've ever done is move to LA by myself. It is the hardest thing I've ever done for myself, but it is also the greatest decision I've ever made in my life in terms of my own personal, like, fulfillment and happiness. Like, I talked about it in the last episode. I cried. I sat and I watched the finale to Ted Lasso, which I know people talk shit about Ted Lasso. If you have not seen all of Ted Lasso and you don't get it, I don't want to hear you talking shit about it. It is a phenomenal show. But, like, I was crying to that, and then I was just thinking about how happy I am being in LA, and, like, it's so hard. It is so hard, and it's so much work to do this. But I'm so happy here. And, like, the fact that I get to do what I love and just to try it. Like, this is actually probably my biggest advice for if you're going to move to LA. You're going to be honest with yourself. If you're moving here and whatever you're moving here for, if you're moving here to chase entertainment or to become a musician or become an actor or anything, you're going to know pretty quickly whether or not you want it. Like, be honest with yourself, because there's a lot of people I meet out here that say they're doing all this stuff when they clearly are showing signs that they don't want it as bad as they say they do. So be honest with yourself, because if you're not willing to rough it, this is a good gauge. If you're roughing it, and if you're struggling to get by in LA, but you're enjoying it and you're loving the process of it, then you know you're happy and you should stay. But if you hate it when you get here and you just think that you have to struggle and you don't enjoy the struggle because you're not enjoying the things it's allowing you to do, then don't be here. Because if you don't love it when it's hard, you're going to like it when it's easy, obviously, because it's easy, but it's going to get hard again. It may not be financially hard, but, like, life comes in waves. And if you can't enjoy the struggle because you're chasing your dreams, then you're not chasing your dreams. You're just chasing what you think you want. Like, the thing about me being in LA is, like, I love this so much that even on weeks where, like, I have to work a significant amount of time, or I, like, am broke and I can't afford gas, or, like, on weeks that are days that are super hard, there's still this thing in my head of, like, I am doing this on my own accord, and there is nothing on the planet Earth other than spending time with my family. There's nothing on the face of the planet that I would rather be doing than having the opportunity to make music and be creative for my entire life. And if you aren't in that place when you move here, then move away or don't come, because it's not easy. But if you are in that situation, then my other advice of, like, save money and be smart. Just have fun. Do this for the right reasons, which is terrible advice because it's so generic. But just, like, enjoy yourself. Meet people. That's a lot of work. But LA is amazing. People talk a lot of shit about it for rightful reasons for a lot of it. But this place is amazing. And the weather's great, at least for right now. And then when I get back from Iowa in a few weeks, and I'm here basically in June, then it's going to start to get real hot, and it's not going to be as enjoyable. But question 4, what's the weirdest thing you've seen in LA? A lot. I think. So obviously, like, the thing that people always talk about that haven't been to LA but they know about stuff about it is, like, the homeless people. There's homeless people everywhere. Not really in Burbank, but if you're in, like, if you're on Sunset Boulevard or you're on Hollywood Boulevard or you're in the area you're in the actual Hollywood area, there's homeless people everywhere. And you very, very quickly you'll see some weird stuff of people that are like on drugs or doing a lot of like not good stuff for them. And you'll see weird stuff like that. Like I saw when I went to the Conan Gray Amoeba Records thing, not the show, but when I was actually buying the record the day the album came out, I remember I saw we're just going to keep talking. Ignore the sirens in the background if you can hear them. I remember I saw a homeless guy walking down Hollywood Boulevard, like dragging a bag, and there was a runner. It was early in the morning, and there was a guy just jogging in place, and the homeless guy was yelling at the street right in front of him, and the guy was running in place, just looking at him, really confused. And then the homeless guy looked up and started yelling at the guy that was jogging in place for running where he was wanting to stand. So there's weird stuff like that, but then like the thing about the homeless thing in LA is it is really sad. Of like, these people aren't in a good place. So, if you ignore that, you'll just see a lot of weird stuff in LA of like only in LA. That like there's so much like the fake nature of LA and how fabricated everything is. If you find the right people, you obviously see through that and you move past that. Like my friends they're like real people. They're not fake. And if you can see through that part, you get through it. But on the surface, there's so much bizarre, crazy, narcissistic stuff that happens here that I can fully understand why people hate LA that haven't lived here before. So that's probably there's just so much weird stuff that happens in LA. Question 5. So that's my answer. Question 5. If you were stranded on a desert island, how long do you think you would survive with 5 boxes of Apple Jacks and a lighter? Grant, what type of fucking question is this? Also, the answer is 10 minutes. How long it would take for me to start a fire with the boxes of Apple Jacks and then jump into it? Because me surviving on a desert island is not likely. I say that, but if I really wanted to survive, I could probably get scrappy and figure it out. Hunting for food, finding food would be the hardest part. I'd end up finding some berries and like I'd find some berries that look like blueberries or raspberries, and I'd eat them, and they'd like give me diarrhea, and I'd shit my colon out, and I would die. So that would happen. The food thing would be an issue. So if I really wanted to survive with the Apple Jacks and eat those, I could start a big enough fire and hope that an airplane would see me. But realistically, I would probably just end up lighting myself on fire or going crazy. Or I would draw a face on the box of Apple Jacks and make my own Wilson. It wouldn't be long. It wouldn't be good. I would not last very long. But those are the 5 questions from Grant. And now we're moving on to questions from my brother Noah. What did he write? We have 7 questions from him. Question 1 is, what's your go-to song or artist when you need a burst of inspiration? My go-to song. Well, so my go-to song and album, just because the song is on the album that I listen to a lot when I need inspiration, is The Stranger by Billy Joel. It's my favorite album. Just listening to it and like listening to how perfect of an album it is, it always motivates me. But then like an artist, when I need a burst of inspiration, like the 1975, Taylor Swift, Elton John, Billy Joel, and then like Billie Eilish, Tame Impala, and then some deeper cuts. Michael Jackson is always one. Michael Jackson I go back to a lot. There's a lot. But then like another song, a song I don't think I've actually talked about on here before, is the song that really made me want to start producing like stuff that sounded like the 80s was New Light by John Mayer, which I think it's probably my favorite John Mayer song. I know it's a super basic pick, but for like 3 or 4 years, it was my most streamed song every year by a large margin. And I really do like that song. It's so simply produced, and it's so well, the guitars are so well done, the bass, the production. It's just a great song, and it really motivated me when I was starting to learn how to produce and write, of this is how you do it. and trying to copy it. So that's my answer. Question 2. What's one book, movie, or TV show that has significantly influenced your creative thinking? One book. So if we're going fiction book, I don't read a lot of fiction. My favorite, one of the only books in fiction that I've fully read all the way through is A Picture of Dorian Gray, which I absolutely love. I think it's an incredible book by Oscar Wilde. I love that book so much. But if we're going nonfiction book, I think I read 15 books last year. And the book I read every year, I don't actually own it. I own the audiobook. Is Elton John's biography, just because it literally it lays out, I think it's the best written celebrity musician biography because it has specific dialogue and it feels a lot more like an immersive story than a lot of the other biographies do, which is why I love it so much. And also Elton John's my favorite artist. So that book, and then it's probably that. Me by Elton John, I'm going to say, is the book. The movie, and then my favorite movie, La La Land. The two things, there are a few things that I have always said that made me want to start making music. I talked about this before in my favorite albums episode, but Elton John is an artist, La La Land the movie, and The Stranger by Billy Joel the album. La La Land is my favorite movie. It's what made me want to start learning how to play piano. And really, I bought a tiny MIDI keyboard that was a piece of crap. It was $30, and learning how to with one finger hit each key and teaching myself how to play. And since then, I've gotten obviously significantly better. But La La Land has influenced me insanely in becoming creative and wanting to pursue music and how to be a creative person and how to look at the world and how magical, not how magical Hollywood can be, but how magical being creative can be as a whole is what that movie means to me. And then TV show that has significantly influenced my creative thinking, Ted Lasso. That TV show has just influenced me in general. I think it's probably my favorite TV show just because of how much it did for me, how many lessons that show has and shows in the world of just how you should live life, how you should be a positive thinker, all this stuff. And people talk a lot of shit about it on the internet, but it influenced me so much, and it helped. It didn't directly inspire me creatively in terms of it changed the way I thought about being creative, but it did help me change my mindset around life and freed up a lot of space in my head that was taken up by other things, in mental health stuff. And it freed up that space, and it allowed me to fill that space with being more creative. So I think that's a good answer. But that's that question. So Me by Elton John, La La Land, and Ted Lasso. And then question 3. If you could have any superpower, what would it be and why? Telekinesis. I know Noah knew this answer, but telekinesis. I think telekinesis is I think it's the most underrated and the most overpowered superpower, because if you think logically about what telekinesis is, it is the idea that you can move objects with your mind. But then if you break down the logic of what an object is, then you go to quantum physics and you go to atoms and molecules and protons and neutrons. And if you think about the idea that if you're moving an object with your mind, you're moving atoms as a whole. And then you can you can move individual atoms. And if you can move individual atoms as a whole, you can manipulate matter. And if you can manipulate matter, you can manipulate the reality around you. And I could turn this cup right here, and I could turn the cup into a bar of gold. Or I could, and then, so you can manipulate matter with telekinesis, but you can you can lift your own body up so you can fly, or you can block bullets, or then you can go into your own brain and you can train your brain with your telekinesis. You can train your brain to build pathways so that the neurons in your brain fire faster naturally because you're moving them faster with your telekinesis. So then you can make yourself think faster. Then, if you get cut or you get hurt, you can rush white blood cells from your body into your wound, and you can speed up the healing process in your body, like significantly, giving you a healing factor. Like, there is no superpower in my mind that is more underrated than telekinesis. I think it is the best superpower. Period. I think it's the best superpower, period. Yeah. I don't know. That's my answer. And I know people that say flight, if you say flight or teleportation or invisibility or speed I get. But the other ones is lazy. Come up with something a little bit more creative. And I know telekinesis isn't like the most underrated superpower, but like, come on, guys. It's a super cool superpower. That's better than speed. Like, I could also move my body fast with my own telekinesis. So, like, just, it's a better superpower. But, okay, moving on. Question 4 for my brother. What's one trend you wish could come back into fashion? Oh, God. The one that I'm trying to bring back myself is, like, round sunglasses. Is, like, my... Oh, I think they just fell. Where are they at? We'll see if I can find them. They're right there. My round sunglasses... And I know fashion has become so secular and so individual that there aren't really that many trends anymore. Other than like bell bottoms have come back, fanny packs have come back, which need to be burned. Fanny packs are the worst. But I want to bring these back, these sunglasses, these round sunglasses. And I like the mirrored part because it means people can't see my eyes. Because I don't like making eye contact with people. Because I don't want, like, don't look me in the eyes. I don't like that. But I love mirrored sunglasses, especially because my head is like a Lego brick man square. So like the round really helps round my head out. So I want to bring these round sunglasses back into fashion. That's part of like my artist branding I'm trying to bring back. So if I had to pick one, that, and also like, then like painting my nails, they're actually not that painted right now because I've been too lazy and don't want to paint them. But I just paint my nails so I don't bite them because I will bite them until they bleed. But I like I've come to enjoy painting my nails just because it's kind of cool and it helps me not bite my nails. So maybe that too, but just mainly the sunglasses. Question 5. What's one place in the world that completely took your breath away? London. He knows this. London. Talked about it before. Greatest place on the planet I've ever been, in my opinion. My dream location to go to is Greece. Like, if I could go travel to Greece, it would probably be my favorite place I've ever been, just because I'm Greek. I have Greek blood, Greek genetics. But in terms of places I've been, seeing London, seeing the Tower Bridge, seeing, like, from Spider-Man, seeing, like, Big Ben and everything else, it's just amazing. Like, London, there's so much history in London, and it's so beautiful, and the architecture is amazing, the history is incredible, it's so walkable, and it's so, like, compared to so many big cities I've been to in the US, it feels so much cleaner, even though it doesn't seem that clean. It just feels so much more, it's so romanticized in my head, which is what it really is, because I know a lot of people that live in the UK and live in London hate it, but I love it so much. It's so magical, and it feels so special to me. So that's my answer. And also, like, Stonehenge. Stonehenge was amazing, getting to see Stonehenge. And, like, Bath. I loved Bath, London. Or Bath, what is it? Bath, UK. God, the geography people are going to come for me. But I just loved going to the UK and going to London and the area so much. Question 6. What song always gets you on the dance floor no matter your mood? So, I don't know how my personality comes off in this podcast, but I'm a lot more, depending on the day, I'm just kind of tired right now, a little kind of bleh. But I'm a moving guy. I can't remember where I put them, but I ripped my pants. I'll put pictures just because I move so much. I always rip my pants. I always rip the crotch out of my pants because I have big legs and a big butt. So I always end up ripping part of my pants because I run around and jump a lot. And I literally completely tore the ass off my pants a few days ago because I run around and dance so much. So it doesn't take much to get me on the dance floor. But a song that immediately, like, I hear it and I'm out there, PYT by really any Michael Jackson song, but PYT by Michael Jackson, I think has one of the best grooves in pop music in general. It's so groovy and so fun. That song, like, if you want to go modern, a Dua Lipa song will do it for me. Like, anything upbeat, anything with, like, a danceable, simple groove that I can really move to, like, dance to and vibe. That kind of thing. I love dancing. It doesn't take much to get me on the dance floor. And even if I'm not very good at it, I'm trying to get better just so I can have more of like that pop star talent because I want to be able to dance as part of being a pop star. But I really do enjoy dancing. But if I had to pick one song that immediately, like, I guarantee you it will get me on the dance floor to dance, it's PYT by Michael Jackson or a Michael Jackson song in general. What else? Let's see. That was question 6. Question 7. Last question for my brother, I'm pretty sure. Yes. If you could witness any historical event, what would it be and why? Ooh. So there's a few ways you could go with this question. Depending on what you believe, if you believe in certain religions, then I would pick whatever, depending on what religions people believe to be real, I would usually pick big moments in terms of specific religions, like Jesus getting crucified, or him coming back from the dead, or anything that is like super monumental in any religion, because those moments are so they're so not guaranteed, but they're so iconic in history if they're real. Not saying they're not or they are. I would pick that. But then if I had to pick something else, it would be like the pyramids being built. It would be the asteroid hitting the Earth. Or I would want to pick something with a conspiracy theory behind it. So like JFK getting assassinated, because a lot of people think that oh my gosh, who shot JFK? Not John Wilkes Booth. That's who shot Abe Lincoln. What the hell is his name? Who shot JFK? It was Lee Harvey Oswald? Yeah, Lee Harvey Oswald. So like some people think that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't actually shoot JFK, or he was paid off to do it, or he was convinced to do it, or like I would want to see something that would give me more knowledge about a moment in history that is confused a lot. So like some people think that Hitler didn't really kill himself or commit suicide and he went into hiding. Like something that has a conspiracy theory around it. And I'm not a conspiracy theory guy. I think they're dumb. And I think they're a waste of time. It's not something I want to spend my time thinking about, is that thinking we're being lied to in general. Not something I want to spend my energy on, because I've got enough to worry about in life, period. But if I had to pick like any moment, it would be something like that. It would probably be the pyramids, just because if I could, because the theory in the science around like why the pyramids, how they were built the way they were, really is a question that I think about a lot, of like how did that happen? Because even with modern technology, like diamond laser, like cutting and like laser cutting, laser fine, the edges, the engineering, everything we have, they have said that to this day, we could not build the pyramids. So I would probably pick like seeing how they built the pyramids, and if aliens really did build the pyramids, because that moment fascinates me, because I really just don't understand how that happened. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand how the pyramids were built, and I would like to know. So that would be the moment I would probably pick. would probably be peak. I don't know. I rewatched all the Pirates of the Caribbean movies a few days ago. They're fire. People talk shit about them because the last one that came out is not great. It's kind of actively bad, but I enjoy it just because it's fun. But especially the first three, and I actually really like On Stranger Tides. I know a lot of people don't, but I enjoy that movie too. Those movies are incredible. They're so good. They're so well done. The special effects, I know that Dead Man's Chest, and then, oh gosh, what's the third one called? Oh gosh, freaking Pirates of the Caribbean, Edge of Tomorrow. No, that's a Tom Cruise movie. That's an underrated Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt movie. If y'all want a new movie to watch, go watch Edge of Tomorrow. Never Die, Live, Repeat, whatever the hell it was called. But that's a great movie. Pirates of the Caribbean 3, At World's End. The special effects in that movie and the special effects in those movies are just incredible. And they were some of the most expensive movies ever made. Just go rewatch the Pirates of the Caribbean movies because those are underrated. How did I get talking about that? What was the question I was talking about? If you could witness, oh yeah. I don't know how I got to the Pirates of the Caribbean, but I would see the pyramids. But this camera's dying. I have stuff to do. I have to upload a podcast that's supposed to come out tomorrow and edit it and do all that. So I'm giving you a bit of a shorter episode today, a quick 33-minute or 36. God, I can't freaking read. I'm illiterate, even though I'm reading numbers. I'll give you a 37-minute podcast. But, quick, I'm an in and out kind of guy. Like a fast food. Or like a gas station, like a come and go. A quick trip. It's a little shorter podcast for you today. And I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, send me your questions. Send me everything. DM me on Instagram. I would prefer that if you want to give me the old Dimski on the Insta. The old Q&A questions. Whatever you got. Something. Whatever y'all want. I would be honored if you sent me a question for the podcast. But I really appreciate y'all. Go stream my new single, Searching for You, if you haven't yet. I would love to know what y'all think. But as always, I have been your favorite pop star, your favorite future pop star, Landyn Zane. Not yet a pop star, but I'm getting there. And this is as it will always be, for the record. I will see you next week. Adios.